All right, listen, we're at George's Old Fashioned Barbershop. Here's the man, the myth, the legend, George Hampel, who is the person behind the brand. Mark Eichler, Jimmy Wynn, London Fitz. Election coming up, midterm election. Let's talk some politics. You're plugged in. You know, a lot of these folks come from the courthouse to get their hair cut here. Just as you look at this valley, this region, a young guy who's going to be around for a while, raising a family, what do you see, Mark? What's going on?
Well, we got the cracker plant here, and that's probably the biggest thing.
Big.
And that's what the biggest concern is how do we bring, I know a lot of things like Josh Kell, that's one of his biggest running platforms is how do you know, how do we, there's a lot of residual businesses that are going to be able to come in as a result of this plant. Not only the plant being built and then the workers, because it's not going to have that many employees, but all the residual businesses up and down and all the, I mean, there's a ton of land, a ton of property along the river that is, could be developed. So I think that's that's the biggest, is how do we bring businesses and boost the economy.
Listen, art imitates life sometimes. And I talked about this on the radio last night. Roseanne Barr, of course, who left her television show. My mother absolutely loved her. Great stand-up comedian, really gave housewives from the 70s a chance to breathe and realize how special they were. And watching her show the first time around in the reboot, it reminded me a lot of growing up as a kid. Sadly, she did exit the show for a number of reasons, obviously, but that's not why I'm bringing it up. It's now called The Connors, and it stars John Goodman. Well, the opening show last night, the new season, was talking about how they basically wrote her out of the script. They thought it was a heart attack. Her character, fictional character, passed away, but in essence, it was an opioid overdose. And this is something that I've been talking about, and we're going to be talking about later as we head into Midland and Wellsville tonight about this being such a big issue. One of the things that I want people to understand is hope. I've been a big fan of the barber industry for years. And I know a number of men and women who've learned their craft after falling on some hard times and have found their way back, whether they were at the Beaver County Jail or some rehab facility. I just want to talk about this industry and why I think it's hope eternal for a number of reasons, and how a lot of people have found a new start in the barber industry. Right, George?
Oh, yeah. I always said that the barbershop would come back again, and it did. So it's a great opportunity for people, for kids who get out of school that want to trade, but it's not an easy trade to actually make a living at. So, my advice to any young kid getting out of high school that wants to learn how to cut hair is to stay in one place and actually try to get an apprenticeship at a shop like we do here, like London did, Mark did. I went to school, but that's where you learn the best. But it's a great field to get in if you take it serious and you don't get tied up with these big, huge shops that just,
right.
They bring them in and they're out,
And to
get discouraged.
piggyback that, one of the biggest things is it gives a person coming out of that situation, coming out of jail, coming out of an unfortunate situation, maybe they're in recovery, it gives them an opportunity to reestablish not only trust with the community, because you work hand in hand with the community, so it gives them an opportunity to rebuild their reputation and build trust, as well as hone their skills and be a productive member of society.
And they can learn to communicate and interact with other
Yes.
people again,
Yep.
and they become comfortable, and they realize everybody really is in this world together.
It gives them a platform.
Yeah.
And it gives them a platform to tell other kids, help other kids, and tell other people their story and how they were a success story and able to succeed, because there's people that can relate. It can hit home with a lot of people, their story. So it's a good platform.
Yeah, and I do want to commend the folks at ABC for what they did. John Goodman, Lauren Metcalf, and the stars of that incredible show. And it is sad that she is no longer there, but that is truly something that a lot of families, and as I was watching some of the video earlier today, I'm sure that look that John Goodman had realizing what had happened to his fictional wife, Roseanne, in that television show, a lot of people are going through the very same thing. That's why this election and this issue is so important. We'll be talking more politics later tonight as we roll into Midland and the St. Anthony's Club. Talk to Amy Fazio, who's running for state legislature. And then we're going to have a roundtable discussion with young and old alike, former members of government in Wellsville, Ohio, the Sons of Italy. Have a great day from George's Old Fashioned Barbershop in Vanport, Pennsylvania. Good afternoon.